Hey, welcome to or welcome back to my channel, IndieAuthor Jill. And one of the interesting things about reading is how often a book will influence your life. Okay? Uh, so this one, the Winter Wish List, you will see a review video about it in December as part of the Christmas Advent calendar book video, whatever. Anyway, um, yeah, you'll see a review video of this one in December. But right now, I need to tell you how this book is responsible for all the chaos in my life right now. So, the Winter Wish List. I'm not going to tell you about it because, like I said, you're going to see a review video for it later. But uh, in the book, Ophelia, the main female character, uh, has a wish list of things that she will cozy couple things that she wants to do with her first serious boyfriend over the Christmas holiday winter break or whatever. Okay. And my first thought was, okay, that's actually kind of cute, whatever. Um, but it made me think about how I go through my own seasons, and every season, like I like all the seasons. Fall is the best. Don't fight me. I'm not taking arguments on this. It just is, okay? Fall is the best season. Uh so but I like all of the seasons for different reasons. For instance, fall, it's nice cozy sweater weather, campfires, s'mores, scary ghost stories, ghost train rides, ghost tours, pumpkin spice everything. It's a great time. Spring, everything is back in bloom. The sunshine is coming back together. The winter is going away. Winter is great. Cozy snowmen, cocoa, carolers, lights, decorations, and even summer. The pools are open, the are calling, the kids are out of school. Um, I don't have any kids that are still at home, or the school winter weather thing doesn't affect me, except that I have to drive through a school zone on my way to work and on my way home from work. And right now, I actually am fortunate enough to have a job where I'm driving through the school zones when there is no buses or pickup times. I'm going in early in the morning at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody is out on the road. I'm coming home at like noon. 9 times out of 10, there's no active school zone, so I don't have to slow down because school buses and everything like that. So I can just like keep going because I live on a main highway, but there are like on either side of me, whether I'm going into one town or another town, there are two schools with active school zones. So I have to, if I happen to go through those zones during the active school zone time, then I end up having to get slowed down from a 65 mile an hour speed limit to now it's 30 miles an hour. And when you go directly from 65 to 30 miles an hour, it's kind of an extreme, you know, and it's annoying. So, you know, um, but every year, every time one season dies and another season is kicking off, I start having this, oh yeah, it's getting ready to be fall. Okay, I remember last fall, I didn't really enjoy it. I wasn't intentional about it. I just kind of coasted through it. I just kind of existed through it. But this fall, I'm going to actually do all the fall things. I'm actually going to enjoy fall. I'm going to actually be intentional about, okay, well, fall's gone, and I just coasted through it again. But winter is coming up, and last winter I coasted through that too, and I was just existing through that. So this winter, I'm going to be very intentional about it, and I'm going to enjoy. Okay, so winter is gone and spring is coming. Well, last year in spring I didn't, and on and on and on and on and on, and it keeps happening. So I fall comes and I'm like, okay, I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to be intentional about it, and I just exist through it. And then the following fall comes and rinse, lather, and repeat. And happens with every single season. And after reading the winter wish list, I got to thinking, well, what if I did that for the season? So instead of just coasting through the summer, because this is when I have read it, it's summer for me. And I thought, okay, what is my summer wish list? And so I made a list of things that I wanted to do for the summer to enjoy the summer. And I've mostly crossed it off. Um, one of the things on there is so the whole summer wish list for me is check out a new neighborhood, have a themed dinner, create a dessert sampler, see a play or a movie, go on have a cocktail date. My husband and I don't drink, so we're having a shrimp cocktail date. Watch the stars, have a fire in the fire pit, visit a museum, go to an amusement park, a random spot on a map road trip, go camping, have a picnic, go on a hike. Those are things that are on my summer wish list. Almost all of them are done except for create a dessert sampler, see a play or a movie, have a cocktail date, and go camping. We do have dates planned for all of those. We are doing the cocktail date this, what was it? Sunday, I think. Saturday or Sunday. Saturday. So this Saturday we're doing the cocktail date. We're doing the dessert. We were planning on doing the dessert sampler this weekend, but that got pushed to next weekend, and I'll explain that. That's where the chaos starts. Um, Go see a play or a movie that happens the following Saturday after the weekend after the dessert sampler, and then um just before summer ends in September we're planning on going camping. We actually already have the reservations. So when we did the themed dinner, we decided on a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea dinner. We dressed up as like island castaways. We decorated the table, we decorated the kitchen. We pretended that we were um, castaway. We were shipwrecked and saved by Captain Nemo when we were having dinner on his boat. We had salmon and a seaweed salad. We had um, uh, a little Jello beach dessert. We played Battleship. We made a whole night of it. And so then when it came to the dessert sampler, we thought, okay, well, what if we did a theme for that as well? And we were trying to figure out what the theme was. And at first we were thinking, what about Mount Everest? Have desserts that represented different spots from Kiliman Kathmandu to the Everest Base Camp. And then we got to thinking about, well, what if we, our schedules have been a little bit demanding, so we thought, well, maybe what if we simplified it a little bit? What if we just what if cheesecake was the theme? We just made cheesecake samplers, So originally that was the idea. I just went online and found a random generator that would generate random anything. All you had to do is tell it what you wanted. And so I asked for a random list of cheesecake flavors. And what they gave me was strawberry swirl, classic, um, lemon blueberry, chocolate peanut butter, caramel apple, and coconut cream. And my husband and I like all of those flavors. We have no allergies to those. And so we decided, okay, yeah, what we were going to do was make a one cheesecake base and divide it up into little tartlets. And then each of those would get flavored with the chocolate peanut butter and the cookies and the strawberry swirl and the lemon and blueberry and whatever, you know. And then we would make individual pie crusts, graham cracker crust, and we were just gonna make these like little tiny tartlets of samples of each one. And that was gonna be like a nice little cozy date night type thing. And so I'm telling my coworkers about this and found out that there is a very diverse mix of opinions. Everybody has a very strong opinion about the coconut cream cheesecake. The other four, nobody argued with, nobody had a problem with, but the coconut cream is where everybody drew their line. Either they didn't like coconut or they didn't they liked coconut and they liked cream cheese. They liked coconut cream and they liked cheesecake, but they weren't sure the two went together. And then there was one oddball that we decided was disqualified from having an opinion about this since she hated cheesecake altogether. And it's like, how do you not like cheesecake? And no, she's not lactose intolerant. She just doesn't like it. And I want to say fair, and I want to say we listen and we don't judge, but I'm kind of judging. I just am. But we started taking a poll and we started asking everybody, like, okay, I need your reaction on this coconut cream cheesecake. And everybody had a reaction. It was either, hmm, no, I like coconut and I like cheesecake. I just don't think the two go together. And then others were like, no, no, that sounds great. And others like, no, don't like coconut. So it was interesting to see where everybody fell on that line and why. And I was telling this to my grandkids, uh, because I thought it was interesting, but I also thought it was kind of funny that the entire workplace was divided on this one flavor. And nobody had a problem with any of the other flavors. Chocolate, I figured chocolate peanut butter or lemon blueberry might have the diversity or the division, but no, it was the coconut cream cheesecake. Who knew? So I thought it was interesting and I thought it was funny. So I was telling my grandkids about this, and one of my grandsons was absolutely appalled. He seemed offended on a personal level almost that passion fruit somehow didn't make this sampler list. And which is fair because for my grandkids, passion fruit, I don't know how passion fruit came into their existence, but now they're obsessed with it. Um, but yeah, once it hit their radar, that was it. Passion fruit has to at least be considered for everything. To the point that one of my grandsons is so obsessed with passion fruit that he created for himself a passion fruit hot sauce. It's actually quite good. And any opportunity he has for a dinner to bring it out, he will. And when it's out, he just makes more. And it's his own recipe. It's not a recipe he found. It was just something he decided I want to kind of toy around with this. And he toyed around with it until he got the balance just right. And we keep telling him, you need to market this, man. I mean, he's 18. He's a legal adult. He can market this and bottle it and sell it. Like, dude, do you know how easy it is to set up a website and a business these days? So, and he's got really no excuses. I mean, his mother started an entire school. So if she can start a school, he can figure out how to bottle sauce, okay? And sell it commercially. But when we started talking about this um cheesecake sampler thing, and they got offended that passion fruit was not a part of that lineup, I was like, well, okay, that's a fair point. You guys are passionate about passion fruit. I get that. And then it occurred to me that, if we just made 5 full-size cheesecakes, then we could invite the grandkids over for a big extended family get together. We do this about once a month anyway. And we could just have we could share the cheesecakes and everybody could, you know, figure out which their favorites are and like have a big, you know, cheesecake tasting. Like we could do a dessert sampler with the whole family. But that wasn't good enough for the grandkids. When I invited them, I was like, "Hey, why don't we have a dinner where you guys all come over? The next dinner we have, you guys can all come over. We'll do the cheesecakes then, and then you guys can come over, and we will uh have a cheesecake sampler after dinner for all of us." They took that as a challenge. And so now, instead of just our five original cheesecakes, the five grandkids want to each bring their own cheesecake. So now this has turned into a extended family bake off, because of course we also have to. They have an uncle that we are usually invite, and he has a full grown daughter, and she has significant other. They have a baby together. The baby's probably not going to make a cheesecake, but the two of them might decide to enter the competition. Their dad probably is going to enter the competition. They may even individually make cheesecakes to enter this competition. That wasn't supposed to be a competition. It was just supposed to be a dessert sampler, but somehow it has turned into an extended family cheesecake bake-off. So I go over to my neighbors across the street, and I, the neighbor, that particular neighbor, is where my niece Katrina lives. She's not biologically my niece, but I'm over there all the time. Her mom and I are such good friends that she calls me Aunt Jill. So the aunt is an honorary title, as is the niece thing. So I'm over there telling them how our cozy little dessert sampler date night has turned into went from a cozy date night to a family sampler to a family extended family bake off. And her response is, we're kind of family. And now they want to come over, and they want to enter a cheesecake or two of their own. And so now our cozy little date night dessert sampler has exploded into this community cheesecake exhibition. Um, and I want to be perfectly clear on this. Yes, it's chaos. But no, I'm not complaining about it. I am totally here for it. But I am blaming this book because this is what started it. But yeah, so my first thought once it got to this level was, well, that's going to be a lot of cheesecake. Maybe we should dial it back and only bring in two of the flavors. Maybe we do the lemon blueberry and the caramel apple. And my son-in-law, the father of the five that decided that this has turned into a family bake-off, casually says, "Yeah, but if you," he's like, "Why would you only limit it to two?" And I said, "Well, there's got to be our five, your kids is five. Then if the your brother-in-law brings a pie and a cheesecake, and his kids bring a cheesecake, we're talking about potentially 13 to 17 pies, because now the neighbors are getting involved. So we're talking about anywhere between 15 to 17 potential cheesecake flavors coming to the table." And this guy's response to this was, "We could eat them all." And he's not wrong. Even if we can't eat them all, we have four different households we can send them off to. We can send some to the neighbor. We can send some home with him and his kids. We could send some home with my other stepson. I could bring some, we could keep some here. I can take some to work with me after the whole thing is over. Like, they'll get eaten. But yeah, a cozy date night dessert sampler has turned into an entire community exhibition, because it's not just, like I said, it's not just the neighborhood involved. If there's any leftovers, I'm taking some to work, and people are going to have opinions. um and one of my grandchildren, I blame myself, because uh I am the one that introduced the kids to some of the YouTube cooks including B. Dylan and In the Kitchen with Max Miller, or Cooking Through History with Max Miller. Um, yeah, I introduced them to that, and at the time, my at the time 10-year-old granddaughter was so enamored with the idea of these chefs and these online cooks that she wanted their cookbooks. So what did I do? I did the grandma move. I went and got B. Dylan's Baking Through Yesteryear and Max Miller's In the Kitchen with Max Miller cookbook. I gave them to her for Christmas when she was 10. She's now 13. She's using some of the recipes, and one of the recipes in B. Dylan's cookbook is a dill pickle cheesecake. Guess what she's planning on bringing to the party? Yeah, the only saving grace we have is that Dad has purchasing veto power, and he refuses to buy ingredients for a cheesecake that she's going to just, in his opinion, waste on a dill pickle cheesecake. He knows it's a waste because he allowed her to make this cheesecake once upon a time. Soon after she got the cheesecake, soon after she got the cookbook, she wanted to make this cheesecake for her grandfather, who she likes, by the way, for his birthday. It was not good. End of story. And she wants to make it again. Why? I have no idea. We all know how it's going to end, in disaster. And so, in order to help her take the um, competition seriously and actually produce a proper entrant, we've decided there has to be a prize. And again, we do these things about once a month. What we decided was that this month we are going to have a taco bar. After the taco bar, we will have the Great Cheesecake Bake Off, whatever. And whoever wins, and here's the thing, I have to explain how the winning works because the winning doesn't work just by whoever has the best pie or the best cheesecake, because we my grandkids all have what we call culinary crowns. They kind of find their thing that they are really great at in the kitchen, and that becomes the thing that they become known for in our family. And for my 18-year-old grandson, he is the pie prince, and that includes cheesecake. Yes, cheesecake has the word cake in it, but it is more pie than it is cake, and he reigns on this. Okay, let me put it in perspective for you. During Thanksgiving, there are usually anywhere between 10 to 20 different kinds of pies available for Thanksgiving. They are all baked by one person, the Prince of Pies, the 18-year-old. He makes the pies. Nobody makes pie for Thanksgiving except for this kid because this is his domain. Okay? So when I suggested the cheesecake sampler and it got turned into a cheesecake bake off, and I said sure we can have a bake off competition. The first thing out of the 9-year-old's mouth is, that's not fair. The Prince of Pies will win. So that's no longer it's no longer who has the best cheesecake. It's who can come close to beating the pie prince. That's the winner. And so whoever comes closest to beating him, that's the winner. And the winner gets to choose the next get together, next extended family get togethers dinner, whatever we're having for dinner. Which means that if the 7-year-old, who is a brat fiend, wins, we're probably having brats for the next dinner. If it's the 13-year-old, it's probably going to be enchiladas because she likes enchiladas. But yeah, whoever gets the closest to beating the Pie Prince's cheesecake gets to choose the next dinner that we have at our house for the extended family. And um and when I say culinary crowns, I mean like this is the kind of thing. Like for instance, the 13-year-old has been dubbed the cookie countess because cookies are her thing, you know. Her younger sister is 11 and she has gotten really good at bread, so she is the bread baroness, you know. So they each have their kitchen crown or whatever. We give them royal titles based on what it is they become, like what is their thing. Um, but it goes beyond that because, like I said, I wouldn't have done half of the things on this list if I hadn't made the list in the first place. And I wouldn't have made the list in the first place if it hadn't been for me reading this book. Um, on top of that, I went into work and I wrote on the thing on the calendar what days I needed off for different things. My husband and I are going down to South Carolina the first week in September, and we're not doing a whole week long trip or anything. It's uh just for two. We're just going for overnight. So we're going down Wednesday. Uh, we're gonna go down Wednesday morning, spend the day down there, get a hotel, and stay the weekend or stay the night, and then the next day we're gonna drive back home. It's a 4.5 hour drive, and trying to drive down there 4.5 hours, trying to make a 4.5 hour drive down there, spend any amount of time, and then drive 4.5 hours back is absolutely rough. And then you put into mind that usually we end up getting back home somewhere about 9-10 o'clock, depending on what time our appointment down there is. And we're coming home anywhere between 9 and 11 o'clock at night, and I have to get up at 2 o'clock the next morning. I don't think so. Okay. So if we go down there and spend the day, and we can just spend the day and we don't have to be rushed for anything, we can just enjoy the day, get a hotel, stay the night, get up, get a nice, decent breakfast, come back. We have all day to get back, which means if we want to stop at any of the historical sites, we can. We don't have to. We can. We can stop for lunch if we want, and we get back at a decent time. And by the time we get back, it's like 5-6 o'clock in the evening, and or in the afternoon, and we have plenty of time for me to rest and get a shower and get ready for bed and be actually up and functional at 2 o'clock in the morning. um the second week in September, because I have a job that is flexible like this, um and my husband is semi-retired, we can kind of plan things around the weekday. We don't have to do things on a weekend. So we decided we were going to do a 2-day camping trip. And so we decided I get off of work about 12:30 in the afternoon. So I can get done with work, come home, take a shower, get changed, and my husband and I can pack up the truck, head to the campgrounds. We've got Monday evening, and then all of Tuesday, and then uh Wednesday morning we're packing up. We get up, we get some breakfast and whatever, we pack up, and we get back on the road to home. Again, the campgrounds are only an hour away, so it doesn't take long. It won't take long for us to get home. Checkout is at like you're supposed to vacate your campsite about noon, by about noon. So we get we leave even if we wait to the very last minute and we leave the campground at noon. Then we get to the house by 1, 2 o'clock at the most if we decide to stop and get lunch. Um, and again, we have the day to just kind of chill and relax before I have to get ready to go back to work again. Um, and so I told my boss when he came in, I said, "Hey, I wrote down on the calendar in September the days I'm going to be out of town, for you to work into the schedule." And he goes and looks at the schedule and he says, "Dang, Jill." And this caught attention for one of my coworkers. The other coworker, it caught her attention when I said I wrote the time off I needed, because she has PTO time and she's in the use it or lose it window. So she's like, "Oh, thanks for reminding me. I've got to figure out when to take my PTO time because I've got to, use that up before it expires." And so her and the other coworker go into the office and look to see what has caused the exclamation from the boss. And he's actually messing. He says, "Actually, no." He says, "This actually works really well because you only have 2 days in one week and 2 days in another week. And I always get Sundays off. So I'm still going to be on schedule for 4 days out of the week. And because I chose weekdays to have off, a Wednesday and a Thursday one week and a Tuesday and a Wednesday of another week, it's something that he can easily work around because almost everybody wants the weekends off. I'm not asking for a weekend off." So he's like, "No, I can absolutely work around this. And I still get you on Mondays when I need you the most because the people who, I have people that don't want to be here on Monday, which fair. Who wants to be at work on Monday if you can help it?" Um, so the thing is, I didn't stop at the summer list. I also went with a fall checklist and a spring checklist and a winter checklist. And I have these lists. And the two coworkers were looking at the time that I had off and they were like, "Well, where are you going for those? Like, you only need 2 days. Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, for the first two, I'm going down to South Carolina. And for the second 2 days, my husband and I are going camping." And one of the girls, she, the one that had the use it or lose it PTO time she had to use. And she's like, "Oh man, I want to go camping so bad." And I was like, "Okay, so go. Make a plan and go." And she's like, "Well, yeah." She's like, "I always intend to, but I just never get around to it. I keep forgetting to do it." And um, I was like, "Okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go home. When you get home, you get a piece of paper and a pen and a pencil and marker. I don't care what, some kind of writing implement. Pull out your phone for all I care. But at the top of the list, you're going to write fall wish list. Item number one, go camping. Item number two, and just keep going of all the things you want to do during the fall season that you keep meaning to do, but you keep forgetting to do because life just kind of pushes them to the side, and go from there." And the other guy that had went to see what I was doing and asked what I was using those 2 days for, asked, says, "Oh, great. Now Jill's giving homework." And we all laughed about it. And she says, "So when is this homework due?" And I said, "Well, it's a fall wish list. September 22nd is the first day of fall. So you need to have that list written out and, you know, what, at least a, what you think is a complete list done by September 22nd. You can always add to it. There is no hard and fast rule. You can always, as a matter of fact, I made this at the beginning of July, like in the middle of July, actually. We were well into summer when I wrote this list. Okay? And I've checked everything off. And here's the thing, it's not a pass fail. If you don't get everything on the list done, okay, you don't get everything on the list done. But at least you were intentional about the season. You didn't just coast through the season, it didn't pass you by. You didn't just exist. You did something with it. Time is the one resource no one in the world can make more of. You might as well make the most of what you do have. So make a make a wish list, make a seasonal wish list, and go for it. I said, September 22 is when you need to have the list to a point where you can say, I think the list is done. December 21st is when everything should be completed. Here's the thing, a lot of things that you want to do during a season, if you don't get it done, you can always push it to the next season. For instance, go camping. I put that on my summer wish list. We can absolutely put it on the fall wish list. And we're in Tennessee. The weather is usually fairly cooperative throughout the whole year. We can go camping anytime. And if you're like my coworker who really has no qualms about camping in knee deep snow, okay, go for it, I guess. Um, but yeah, that was the rule I gave her, is have the list finished written by the September 22nd, have it finished done, like do all the things on the list by December 21st. And yeah, I absolutely intend on giving them a winter wish list homework assignment the week before Thanksgiving. So, and I'll keep rolling that over. But here's the thing. The hardest thing to do as a writer is to put your book out into the world. The easiest thing for a writer to do is give up. It's so easy to look at a manuscript and say, ew, nobody's going to want to, this is terrible. Nobody's going to read this, and hit delete and be done. There is a country western song by Hunter Girl called Ain't About You. And in one of the choruses, she says, what if there's a heart that needs some hope, and they find it in the words you almost never wrote? So, Selena Trotsky. It was just a cute Christmas romance novel. It was. But it did something. It mattered. I have enjoyed my summer so much more, even with getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning every morning and going to work and coming home at 12:30 dragging because I am sore and I am tired, and crashing into bed and waking up and feeling even more tired and feeling like I don't have much of a life because of this job, and feeling like all I want to do is finish what I set out to accomplish with this job, so that I could stop working and never worry about it anymore. And that was my whole focus until I read this, until I made this, until one of these date nights became a full on exhibition of cheesecake flavors and created a massive debate of definite opinions at my workplace, until a coworker wanted to go camping, and she's like, "Well, when am I going to go camping? How about on that during that PTO time block that you have to use or lose? How about then? How about you go on vacation and you just go camping? Who's stopping you? You are a full-grown adult with adult money. Go do it." She had plenty of excuses. Well, I don't really know what I'm doing with camping, as, I can't really rough it. Go to a campground. The campground I'm going to has a bathhouse, indoor plumbing, indoor showers. There's a community store. If you don't want to forage for wood, you can just buy firewood. It's fine. But yeah, it mattered. It did something. It's created a movement. I have made a list for every single season. I am living through these seasons more intentionally than I ever have before. My coworkers are adopting this method, because even though the one coworker made the comment, "Oh great, Jill's handing out homework," I could see it in his eyes. He has 3 kids. 2 of them are teenagers. One of them is under 10. I guarantee he is making a fall wish list for things he wants to do with his kids, and I guarantee his kids are going to see it, and I guarantee they're going to add to it, and it's going to become a family event. It mattered. It did something. So, Selena Trotsky, thank you for writing your book. Thank you for being brave enough to put it out into the world. And most of all, thank you for not giving up. If you're a writer and you've got a manuscript, it might be just a cute little rom com, it might be a sci fi, whatever. Write the book. Be brave. Put it out there. You don't know. It might matter. Right? Bye.